Today's video is very special. I'm excited to bring an interview with my friend Casey King. If you don't know who that is, he was actually on the TLC show Family by the Ton. Most popularly known, I would say, he was the guy that he got so large that he had to bathe outside in like a trough, right? He doesn't love that people bring that up, but there were a lot of videos made about him when that was being aired. And he reached out to me recently because he had read an article talking about Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters and how she was up to 717 pounds. Those of you that have been following Tammy and Amy more closely know that she's currently not that weight. She's actually lost quite a bit of weight, but we are taking this from the angle as most viewers that are watching the show are not following the sisters, so they don't know what's going on. And he had a very, it was very clear he had a very visceral reaction to this article that was shared, and I was like, he reached out and he wanted to talk about it. And as someone that there's only very few amount of people that have been in similar situations to Tammy, and Casey is one of those people, right? A TLC show talking about the fact that he has lost 400 pounds, right? He was 700 pounds plus when he was his largest, and he just really wanted to share his thoughts. And I am lucky enough that I have a platform, and I am also lucky enough that he considers me a friend, that he was, willing to reach out to me and say, hey, I would love to talk about this. Is it okay if I do that on your channel? And so that's what we're doing. We're just kind of sitting down, letting Casey share his mind, and that's what this video is. And so I hope that you enjoy. I hope you're able to keep an open mind. And again, Casey, thank you so much for doing this. Let's get into it. Casey, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I appreciate it. When I saw those posts that you made on Instagram, obviously I reached out because I've been following you basically since I think I made the first video, and it's been cool like seeing just you kind of progress and stuff, seeing how you've been able to keep the weight off, get a job, all that stuff. It's been really interesting. And then one of the things that I think is really interesting is when you kind of share your insights into these shows that Family by the Ton or 1,000 Pound Sisters or whatever, and because again these things are interesting to me, but I was obviously never on a show like that. I don't have any sort of that insight that you do, and I know that you kind of shared a few stories talking about the new upcoming season of 1,000 Pound Sisters. So I mean, you just take it away, man.
Yeah, the article I had seen, someone had put it on. I wasn't even aware of it. I follow a TLC, their Instagram page, and I saw it like go by, and I was like, that can't be like a thing, right? They're 4 seasons into this show. I don't keep up with them, but she's had to have lost weight, right? No. She's the biggest she's ever been. Mm-hmm. She's gained weight, a substantial amount, from what I understand, and like she's now in the worst position of her life, weight wise and health wise, I guess. So it's like, in my opinion, like, is this process, is this thing they're doing working? Obviously not, if you're only getting worse.
Mm-hmm. So like how do you feel about, because obviously these shows, like say your show, right? Family by the Ton, yeah. Say if you guys hadn't lost any weight, would the show still be going on, is one question. And then the next question in my mind is that okay, right? If the show is still going on because you guys weren't able to lose weight, and it's more interesting watching the person struggle than it is to watch the person succeed, like, is that okay,
So this is a money-making capitalistic world. Everything has a point that it has to be on. This is a thing where everyone has to get something for what they're putting out. TLC has to get views. They have to get people to watch. They have to they have to put out a product that sells to bring in whatever they need to make profit. So I get that. But then to act like, anyone that's buying into that product shouldn't be buying into like, this is good if it's inevitably not good for those people. You can support TLC, but like apparently what's going on right now on this show is only making Tammy's situation worse. And I don't, I know I'm pretty sure if our show had not been, if we had not lost weight, we would have had another season. Mm-hmm. We did well. Now, God, I've lost 500 pounds, 500 something pounds. And the rest of them, Amy and Amanda and Ed, have all lost weight and kept it off. There's never been one person from our show that has ever had any kind of contact with TLC about an update. The only thing they've ever asked me for is names of people that I knew that were overweight. And I think Amanda was on a couple episodes of one of the Discovery Plus shows where she played a friend to these people, and like an outside source or something. I think our show would have probably had another season. We would have been like the Johnson family, I think was the family on the end of our season, where we would have had an update or another chance to, lose weight. But we did well, and the popularity of the show just died. Hell, people don't even know the name of my show. Yeah. Like, they still to this day tell me, you were on 600 Pound Live, right? I'm like, no, not that. So, like, I don't think that. I mean, I have a very realistic view. I understand why they make this show. I understand why they put out the product, but I just don't like that other people buy into it. Mm-hmm. I don't like that it's this thing where they're like I've been given all these in my opinion, garbage excuses for why they've never hit us up for an update. People will, I've been told you're not as entertaining. You're not as funny. I think personally, I'm one of the funniest people in this world. I'm not a comedian, but I think I'm very entertaining. I think I have a great personality. I think that these people are on a show where they are in set up situations and scenarios, because that's what the show does, because I've been in it, that are entertaining, and they know that these people will react if we put them in this situation. So let's do that continuously, and people will keep watching. And so that's just the way.
When the show first kind of hit you up, this is kind of going back, but when the show first hit you up, what was how did they promote it? How did they this is the show and this is why we want you on it? And then what made you be okay, I'm going to do this, right? Because I mean, going from someone that's obviously it's not like you have a show, you don't have a huge following, you're pretty much you're more isolated, to being in front of so many people. I'm sure that was kind of nerve-wracking. So what about their pitch kind of sold you, I guess?
So I was already looking into bariatric surgery, sort of, because I knew that my food addiction was way too hard to just give up, to stop. So we were looking for alternatives, and a friend of mine hit me up. She had a friend of a friend who was Amy, that was already going to be on the show. And basically I had to send information to Amy, and then she sent me a contact with TLC, and I sent them my baseball stats of being overweight. Things I had went through, difficulties, my weight, my highest weight, my lifestyle, my, daily routine, what I ate, whatever. Things in my life that I was going through that normal people wouldn't have to, the bathing in a tub, sitting in my room naked, blah, 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 all those great things that are plastered all over YouTube now. There was something, my nephew was born, so that's kind of what was the click in my mind, that I needed to lose weight. So we were already on that weight loss path, but this was an opportunity. And I've always considered myself a character, so being on TV would be cool, not the freak show element, but still. And then they were like, this is your opportunity to get surgery, we'll pay for it. And I was like, boom. That's all I really needed. Mm-hmm. They literally come in saying, we will provide the surgery to you. A lot of people have told me the reason Tammy didn't get it is because she didn't have the money. She doesn't need the money. Yeah. That's a thing they twist in to make another reason for her not to get it. They literally, TLC and the producers will hand them reasons to read to you to make you feel sympathetic for them not getting the surgery. It is paid for, whether you have insurance or not. Mm-hmm. It's a gift. Mm-hmm. You literally just say yes or no. She said no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely been interesting, obviously kind of doing reviews of the show and kind of sharing my thoughts and seeing the difference between the sisters, right? And I do think that that's why the show is still around. I truly do believe, kind of to your point, that say if they had both lost the weight at the start, the show wouldn't be around, which is really sad, because it's clear that they enjoy the attention, right? Which, especially coming from people that, I mean, they were YouTubers before, so it was something that they were searching for to an extent, right? And the fact that this show is so popular And I think at this point now, if the weight doesn't come off, and it's been said that Tammy actually has started losing quite a bit of weight and got the surgery or whatever. Yeah. And so I do think that at some point it had to happen, but it's just sad that like it almost feels like it was like set up for her to not get the surgery, to kind of not to be the like one sister's doing well, one sister's not doing well, and that'll be good TV, right?
So I can't speak for every single obese person there ever was. Mm-hmm. I can tell you only my personal like thoughts, opinions, wants and needs, whatever. I have always wanted to fit in. I've always wanted to be accepted, wanted, liked, and appreciated. I think that at its core, every single person that has a thing that makes them stick out wants those same things to some level. Maybe not, you know, there are obese people that want to just sit in their house all day and just eat, but like they probably would like some social interactions. They probably would like friends. There are people that escape into the gaming world. You know, that's what I did. There's everyone wants to fit in. These people were given a platform and they were loved. Like Tammy and Amy immediately after their first season were very much liked because it was like they were characters that did not even get along with really one another, even though they had this obesity thing that bonded them. Once they begin to get a taste of like, I don't want to say fame because it's like a toxic fame, but like fame, popularity, acceptance, and people wanting them, there's no going back. The only thing that changed for Amy was that once she got the surgery and lost weight, she got some male attention, and then she was like, I'm going to keep doing this. She's married with a kid now. So like her life has progressed. Tammy probably just also fearing now I left this out. There's two things I want to put out there that I understand. Being so big and having the fear of the surgery is a real thing. So I'm not at all like, I don't want people to think I'm shaming Tammy for saying no. And also just not like wanting to leave that lifestyle for the fear of stepping out of the boundary of the lifestyle that you're comfortable with. Like if she's just been comfortable in this situation, there was something in my head that clicked and I was like, I have to change for this reason to accomplish this goal. And it was being a good uncle to my nephew. She may not have that thing that clicked in her head and she may be like, I'm comfortable with this. I'm now liked and wanted and popular in this lifestyle because of the show. Why would I want to change?
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you haven't been like reached out really by TLC since the first season of your show. Has there? So they've never like reached out at all. And like if they did, what would you want to share? You know, like what would you want to tell them?
I mean, so they've never reached out to me ever. TLC, okay, that's not true. TLC has sent me 2 emails. One, it was from not a producer, but like a production assistant, or not a production assistant. It was like a person involved with TLC, because production assistants are usually through like the company that they hire to produce and create the show. I have been contacted by like one person from TLC, and they were like, hey, we just want to know if you have any names of people that are obese locally in Georgia or on the states out bordering Georgia. And that I was like, nah, I don't have anyone like that. And then two other times, the production company that filmed our show and produced it, they have contacted me, but this has not been like a year and a half, but to ask me that as well. Now, I have reached out to my main person that was like the head of production at the production company, and I've been like, hey, I haven't seen y'all in forever, because like COVID happened, and I was like, I wanted to come up there and just say hey to them, and I never did because there was like something happened. I think COVID re-popped up or something. It was like a couple, like 6 months ago or 7 or 8 months ago, maybe even a full year, and I just never went up there because they were still like COVID heavy, like protocol. But the only times they have ever hit me up, anything involving the show, was just, incorrect. There was a Chinese or a Chinese Japanese company that did interviews with us, and they had to go through TLC. And then there was another company that did like a thing with us, and then they also had to go through TLC. There were little opportunities that popped up for me to be on like an Australian radio station. They went through TLC. There was a couple other things where like TLC was trying to make sure that whatever we put out there, they were okay with. Like, I mean, there's a good chance that they probably don't want me on a show because I have fully told people I'm not related to Amy and Amanda. These things were set up. This thing wasn't real. But like, anyone that watches the TLC network and is like, this is a documentary is just dumb. Like, dude, I don't mean.
The thing is that I'm telling you right now, people, they just believe what they see. And so,
it blows my. It makes me, honestly, I don't know what I just did. It makes me sad. I pulled down a whole drop screen on my phone. But like, I try to tell them, I'm like, you're not watching a like documentary on, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You're watching a dramatic reenactment of someone's life. Like, there are so many things that they filmed for the show that were never used. They had me eating a bowl of Cheetos out of a cake mixing bowl, and I'm just eating Cheeto after Cheeto after Cheeto for literally 30 minutes. And I tell them, hey guys, I'm going to throw up. And they're like, okay, we just want you to keep grabbing different Cheetos. Oh, that was the phone, great. They're like, we just want you to grab a different Cheeto and move it to your mouth over and over. And I was like, I can do that. Fake like you're chewing. And I was like, okay, that's not hard. But like, it's just not reality. It's like it's a hyper situational, hyper exaggerate. Like we are fat, but like they don't come to your show, come to your house and be like, we're going to naturally film you. No, because that would be very boring.
Yeah.
They put you set up scenarios and situations to reenact things in your life. Like the bathing thing, I was already out of that situation, but they knew that I had gone through that, so they reenacted that. Like,
my favorite thing is just the angles that they'll film. They'll film you from like your freaking like your taint area up, like.
Oh God. That there is a like when I because like I work with people and they'll be like, yo, I Googled you, and I'm like, yeah, and like I know the images that pop up. They use this lens, this concave.
It's like a fisheye lens.
Yes, and it just fixated on my stomach and just this girthy area, and everything around me it looks like my stomach is 10 miles in front of me. Like it is, their angles are atrocious. But I get it because they're selling.
The thing is like this might sound mean, but it's like they're selling. It's a sideshow. That's what they're selling, right? They're like, look at how bad of a place this person is. Look at like how. I mean, for lack of a better, look how fat they are. Look what they can't do. Like, isn't this disgusting? Isn't this nasty? Like,
they're selling you tickets to a freak show that you can watch in your house. Like, they're selling you tickets to a freak show of these people in their natural environment. And I'm not. And again, I don't blame Tammy. I don't blame Amy for agreeing to do other seasons. They're now in their 4th or 5th season. Maybe they're filming the 5th one. So they have gotten their paycheck per episode is probably, I'm not going to say it's like tens of thousands of dollars, but we got $1,000 per episode. And I know it goes up on scale per season.
Oh, yeah.
So they now get paid substantially more than they first did. So they they probably don't even live in that same house anymore. TLC might own it now and rent it. And then they live somewhere else. They probably drive different cars. They like, when I talk, people would think that I literally don't like these people, but I don't. It's a bit of jealousy. It's a bit of like pity. It's a bit of understanding. It's a bit of like being in their shoes and not being in their shoes anymore. Like, they have a reason for doing this, and I don't shame them for it. I'm just mad or like upset or bothered by the fact that like, we did the show, we succeeded, and we most likely will never have an opportunity to be on another.
I mean, it sucks, but like I would say that you're not wrong there. And the way I see it is, this is something that a lot of people talk on YouTube right now, is like when people get popular, say they're like a vlogger, right? Say it's not even weight loss, but we'll bring it back to that. But say they're just like a normal vlogger. and they get a lot of popularity because they're sharing their life and like things that they struggle with, or at school, or they work a 9 to 5. But eventually they get so popular that they no longer are relatable to the people that are watching them, right? Because the people that are watching them still work that 9 to 5. They're still going to school, but the person has maybe dropped out because they're making so much money on YouTube, or they don't have to work, that quote unquote regular 9 to 5 job because they're making so much money on YouTube. So people no longer are interested in watching their content because it's not relatable. Bringing that back to losing weight, this is something that I've noticed. Like when I first started YouTube, I had already lost most of my weight, but I was still like tail end of losing it. So I would do full day of eating videos and I would show people what I was doing. Now, dude, I lost weight 10 years ago. Like I don't share weight loss videos anymore because I ain't trying to lose weight. I haven't been for a long time, and people get bored. And that's something that I've noticed a lot on YouTube is people will watch someone that's going on a weight loss journey and they're really inspired by the fact that they are losing weight. But the second that stops, whether that is they are no longer losing weight because they've lost all the weight they can, or because they're struggling to lose weight and it's losing weight is hard. If they're not on that journey anymore, people lose interest. And so it's really, really hard if you are someone that has gained a following because of the fact that you've lost weight, because people are no longer interested once you've lost weight because they're like, oh, they're just a regular dude now,
Yeah. Like my YouTube channel is decently sized. It's not large. I mean, when I tell someone how many subscribers I have to a person that doesn't have a channel or any kind of like popularity, it may sound like a decent amount. Like compared to yours or Oompa or H3 or some of these, these people that I've been on, like I'm nothing. I'm a very small fish in like a huge pond. I still, if I go live, I get a couple viewers because I am a character. I'm loud. I'm opinionated on really stupid stuff, and I like to yell and have reactions or whatever. I'm notoriously famous for always going live in the truck, but like I don't have a studio or anything. I'm very low key and like not like high quality. Put a lot of money into it. But yeah, my rise to fame and popularity is pretty much over. Like it would be cool to grow my channel and stuff, but like people still come to me and comment on like my Instagram posts or my YouTube channel, and they're like, "Don't give up." And I'm like, "Do you mean don't give up on growing this channel, or do you mean don't give up on losing weight?" Because like I'm not really trying to lose that much weight anymore. I'm gonna have skin removal, but like I'm okay. Like I'm never gonna be like a 190 pound guy. Like I'll probably always be 220 to 210 ish. And that's okay with me because I'm 6 foot tall. I'm fine with that weight. But like, it's still like, don't give up. I don't know what you mean by that. Can you clarify?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're the best.
I think that they're probably talking about the weight loss. I think for a lot of people, like the fact of the matter is, like most people that try and lose weight, if they get bariatric surgery or don't, or getting Ozempic, which is really popular now, or don't, the vast majority of people aren't able to lose it, and especially are not able to keep it off, right? So like the fact that honestly, like when you said earlier that like pretty much everyone on your show was able to lose the weight and keep it off, that's actually really surprising, because it's tough and most people aren't successful, right? And so that's pretty wild.
I had only sleeve surgery. You're not supposed to. I had the surgery at 630 pounds. For all extents and purposes, they really only thought I was going to get to like 400 to 350. That was where it was going to plateau. I was going to need, what's it called? The switch or the bypass. I was going to need another stomach surgery to further push the weight loss. I don't want to claim to be like a medical marvel or like an outstanding circumstance of like perchance, but like I shouldn't have kept losing weight. It should have stopped. I just kept getting more active, modifying my own diet, trying to eat a little cleaner, a little more healthy. I got an active job.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I always see you posting at work, and you work at Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
And so you're walking a lot, right? I assume.
Yeah.
That helps so much. People don't realize. Sorry.
Yeah, like I adapted my lifestyle to push what I wanted further and further. I like to be told I'm attractive. I like to be told I'm pretty. I like to be told you look great. I like for people to tell me I have a nice smile. I like to be complimented because these are things that I am not used to. I'm literally like, I'm giddy when it blows my mind. Some of these people that I match with on like Tinder and Bumble or Facebook dating, God, it's trash. But like, it's still, I literally will tell them, and it's very kind of weird probably to hear that from me. And like the first, I'm like, you're so pretty, and I don't even understand how we matched. And they're like, what do you mean you're attractive? And I'm like, I'm not, but thank you for telling me I am, because I still don't see myself as someone that's attractive. I still see like this blobby fat guy. Like I still turn sideways to fit through like small areas that I can easily fit through. Like my mind and my opinion of myself have not caught up to the person I appear to be. But it's getting better. And like, it's just, I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, I understand, man. I mean, it takes a long time to kind of, I guess, like settle into the body that you're in now, you know, and I think it's for each person, it's different, and it takes people different amounts of time. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, you might never really fully settle in. Like you might always kind of struggle with that imposter syndrome, something that I struggle with pretty severely. And so, you know, I'm not saying that to make you be like, oh, that sucks, but you know, just being honest.
Yeah, no, it is. Here's the thing. I may wake up every morning and not think that I'm an attractive dude. But you can only be complimented so many times before you just have to be like, they got to see something. Like maybe I don't like it, but like they like it. And as long as they like it, I'm cool with it. And that's really the only thing that gets me through it. Like I may not like myself, but if they like how this is presented, then I like it. So it is a very slow progression, but like I'm coming around. Like I don't see myself as attractive, but like one thing I will say about dating apps that I like, I know we're not talking about dating apps, but like once they like me and I like them, I'm good because I know I can talk. I have a pretty good personality. The only things about me I'm conceited are that I'm funny and I'm a good personable person. So like I'm in. Once they like me, we're good. And I've worked on my personality and my sense of humor forever since that, because I've always been like a chubby outcast. So it's like, you know, it's this great thing.
It's definitely one of those things that maybe feeling like you can't rely on your looks kind of helps with like developing personality. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to, this is kind of putting you on the spot, not really, but like is there any words of advice or just like something that you feel it might be smart for people to keep in mind that enjoy these TLC shows, that enjoy watching these things, that you can share from your own experience, right? There's only so many people that have had your experience being the subject of one of the shows. Like, is there anything that you would say to that person just so they can, just keep it in the back of their mind?
There's so many things, honestly. Like, for one, the struggle is real. Like, these people are really in these situations of, like, dire health. Like, we all are really overweight, and we all really do need help. But as you're, like, okay, if your friend, your really good friend, was overweight in these extreme situations, would you be okay with turning on the TV and watching them just continually struggle? Like, would you find that entertaining? Would you not want them, if they were successful, to have their day in the sun of like shouting at from the mountaintops that they did well? Wouldn't you want that for them? Or would you just want to continually watch them perpetually like drown in the sea of like food addiction? You probably wouldn't. And understand that, like, when all these scenarios, literally anything you can imagine in these shows is set up. It's not by perchance. Like, not everything is set up. Like, if like some of the stuff on Housewives or Teen Moms, some of that's probably real. Hell, maybe even on here, there are random things that have happened for real. Like when they're in like, some of that, even that health crisis stuff is a little fake as well, because they can sort of play with wordage. Like, we were cousins. Cousins in the South means a lot of things. Like, it could just be a family friend. Your uncle can be this guy that's just really good friends with your dad, but he was never related to you. So like, there's plays on words and stuff. It's real, but it isn't all real. And that's it. I don't know. Like, don't let your dreams be dreams. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of a cell. I don't know. Something like that. Like, these struggles that these people go through are real, but like, But remember, they're people, and if you knew them, you probably would want them to succeed and not just stay on this path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the channel, dude.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed being here. It was great.